Good morning. Welcome to Rooted and Relevant. And you can probably tell that it's a little dreary here in Florida. And for those of you who have been jealous of our warm weather, understand that tonight it is projected to get to 33 degrees and wind chills as low as 27. And so, for all of you in the north that felt like you needed to send some of your weather down here, I just want to speak for the Floridians. You are welcome to keep it. But it does sound like we're going to get some of that. Now, it is going to get to the 60s during the day. And so it is going to be quite a fluctuation of temperature. But we are going to get to experience a little bit of the cold weather, at least if we decide to get up in the middle of the night to have it. It will only get that cold around 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and then begin to warm up during the days. But then it's going to cool off again. I think our highs over the next week are in the low 70s. And I know most of you are like, oh, we just feel so sorry for you. But we are going to get some cold weather. So we're going to get a little taste of winter and a little taste of that freezing chill. And they say we have to watch overhead for dropping iguanas. Their bodies require heat in order to function. And when the temperature is lower, iguanas can no longer hold onto the trees and they drop out of the trees. So that'll be interesting if I get to see something like that. Well, we are in James chapter 5, the last chapter here, and God is going to give a warning to the rich. It is important for everyone to be honest, but God is going to address specifically honesty as it relates to rich people. And so he says, "Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. And ye have heaped treasures together for the last days. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth. And the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth and been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts in the day of slaughter. Ye have condemned and killed the just, and he doth not resist you." And God is simply warning the rich about not being honest. First of all, he's going to address the fact that the rich have just as much responsibility to live in light of eternity as the poor. The rich, if their confidence and their security is in their riches, they're foolish. If they're storing up riches for this earth and sacrificing the eternal on the altar of the temporary so they can have and do more now, the day is going to come, they're going to die, and they're going to leave it all behind. And it's not going to do them any good. And so he warns the rich about being honest about eternal things, about the future, and realizing that there's nothing wrong with accumulating wealth. But if it becomes your focus, if it becomes your goal, if it becomes your security, you are fooling yourself. It is not going to work. So you have to be honest about the things that are future. But you also have to look at being honest regarding your workers and making sure that you're not guilty of fraud. You've maybe heard the phrase that is common in our society today, that when you're interviewing for a job, you don't get what you're worth, you get what you negotiate for. Well, that's on the premise that the person that is interviewing you or the person that is going to pay you is going to hold back. And you're going to somehow have to twist their arm to actually get them to give you what it is that you deserve Otherwise, they're going to have you work for less. They're not going to do everything they can to care for you. They're going to hold back as much as they can. And so that's indicative of our culture, because we have rich people, the people who are able to pay employees, holding back and not doing for them what they should, or even what they could, but rather holding back for their own securities. And God says, you need to be honest about your fraud. And so he says there that your riches are actually going to be witness against you, that you have not taken good care of your employees. One of the greatest stories I heard was in the Detroit area, when somebody was selling their business. I think it was a large factory business, and they had decided they're going to sell that. In a big shock to all of their workers, starting with their executives all the way down, there was a tiered benefit that the owner gave to each worker in appreciation for the workers making him who he is. And it was substantial. The total payout from the sale of the company was in the millions that he was giving back to his employees as a thank you, because he realized he wouldn't have what he had without them. And I think that's indicative of what God is saying. Richmond, you need to be honest about those who work for you, those who you employ, to take good care of them, because you can't do what you do, and you wouldn't have what you have if you didn't have them. So take good care of them, because when they are being frauded against, they cry out to me and I hear them. That's what he is saying. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth. Their voices are being heard by God. And he's holding it as a witness against you, that you are not doing what you're supposed to do. And then he warns the rich man about living high on the hog in pleasures at the expense of others. Verse 5, you have lived in pleasure on the earth and have been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter. You have a complete wrong focus. And the principle of sowing and reaping, you may not have somebody not pay you, because you may not need somebody to pay you. But the same mindset is actually going to come back, and you're going to reap more than you sowed. And this is just a bad path. And so God is warning all of us, but specifically in context of rich people who tend to struggle with being honest about, you know what, this is all temporary. And this isn't the focus. This isn't the goal. We need to be good stewards, but we're not to be hoarders. We're to be good stewards, but we're not to try to get things for ourselves at the expense of others. We have this responsibility to demonstrate Christ, even in how we take care of those that work for us, or those that we work with, or those that are around us. And so God says, listen, make sure you're honest regarding riches and how they are to be used in this life, but then also be honest in how you take care. Are you actually showing appreciation? Are you showing honesty in how you take care of those who work for you? And then make sure that you're not trying to live a lifestyle that just draws attention to yourself, that feeds on your flesh or on your own selfish desires, because that has a way of coming back to haunt us. And God warns us about not using riches foolishly or selfishly, but to exercise some wisdom in light of the fact that this is a fleeting time. Life is temporary and relatively short. And so therefore we should be honest regarding that which has been entrusted to us, to use it in a way where people come to a right conclusion about our Savior, Jesus Christ. God bless you. I hope you have a great day. I'll look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. God bless.